Today we're taking a look at these college football matches, which are happening on Wednesday, December 28, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Also, check out our perks and join the High Stakes membership. Joining the High Stakes membership is easy, is cheap, but it will help a lot in the growth process of this channel. Plus check out our Patreon in the link down below if you want access for our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation, so make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. North Carolina Tar Heels vs Oregon Ducks. The North Carolina Tar Heels head into this matchup 9-4 for this year. The last time they took the field, the Tar Heels played the Clemson Tigers and took a loss by a final of 39-10. Elijah Green was the rushing leader for the Tar Heels with 21 attempts for 65 yards, 3.1 yards per attempt. Drake May connected on 26 seconds with 268 yards passing. He had a QB rate of 106 and walked away from the contest with 2 picks. When it came to stopping the run, the Tar Heels conceded 68 yards on 21 tries, which is 3.2 yards per run allowed. North Carolina conceded 28 pass completions on 35 attempts for a total of 317 yards and a completion rate of 80.0%. Overall, they ran 79 plays for 386 yards. The North Carolina Tar Heels rushed the ball a total of 36 different times and compiled 113 yards, which had them averaging 3.1 yards per attempt. When talking about getting in the end zone, the North Carolina Tar Heels are averaging 35.0 points per outing. As a unit, they are averaging 156.4 yards via the ground game, which has them sitting 63rd in college football. The Tar Heels have tallied 6,157 total yards this season. When it comes to getting the ball in the end zone, North Carolina has totaled 35 touchdowns through the air and 23 touchdowns via the ground. North Carolina has 326 first downs as a unit, and they have committed 81 penalties for 719 yards. They have turned the football over 14 times. When talking about passing yards, the Tar Heels have given up 3,593 yards, which has them ranked 130th in D1. They have conceded 276.4 yards per game through the air, in addition to conceding a completion percentage of 64.9%. Over the course of this season, they have surrendered 438.2 yards per contest, which ranks them 115th in Division I. They have yielded 25 touchdowns via the pass and 27 touchdowns on the ground. They are giving up 4.4 yards per rush and 161.8 yards on the ground per game for the campaign. In total, they have allowed 2,103 yards on the ground through 13 outings. The Tar Heels rank 105th in college football when it comes to team defense, giving up 31.0 ppg. Both teams are missing key players and their regular season offensive coordinators, but at least both quarterbacks are playing. Nix and May should put on a show, but which defense will make enough stops to lead their team to victory? The Ducks' defense is better in the red zone than most teams with a bend but don't break mentality. The UNC offense was also ranked just 94th in red zone scoring percentage. Furthermore, the UNC defense was ranked 92nd opponent red zone scoring percentage and will be without a few defensive starters. I expect Nix and Oregon to take advantage of their opportunities in the red zone, converting them for touchdowns instead of field goals. The Ducks are 6-1 at TS in their last 7 games, following an ATS loss, while the Tar Heels are 0-4 at TS in their last 4 neutral site games. I'll bet on Oregon to win and cover the 14-point spread in the Holiday Bowl. Our first pick is Oregon minus 14 points. The Ducks come into this matchup with a record of 9-3 for this season. In their last game, the Ducks walked away with a loss by a score of 38-34 when they faced the Oregon State Beavers. Bo Nix, 2 TDs, walked away from the contest with 327 yards on 27 41st through the air, while his quarterback rating was 148.9. He didn't throw any interceptions, and his average yards per pass attempt was 8.0. Noah Whittington carried the football 16 times for 81 yards, finishing the game with 5.1 yards per attempt for Oregon. Oregon rushed the football for 3.4 yards per attempt, finishing the contest with 143 yards on 42 carries. The Ducks finished with 470 yards, and they ran 83 plays, 5.7 yards per play. The Ducks' pass defense conceded a completion percentage of 46.2%, relinquishing 60 yards on 6 out of 13 through the air. Oregon surrendered 43 run attempts for 268 yards, 6.2 yards per carry. Quarterback Bo Nix, who recently announced that he will be returning to Oregon next year, has 3,389 passing yards, 16th most, and a 71.5% completion percentage, third best in the country. He is averaging 282.4 passing yards per game and has 27 touchdowns, tied for 15th, and just 6 interceptions. He has 14 rushing touchdowns, most by any quarterback this year, and he is third in the FBS with 42 total touchdowns, having a receiving TD to his credit as well. Helping Nix's efforts are the fact that the Ducks have 5 receivers with 25-plus catches and 300-plus receiving yards. The Oregon Ducks are averaging 508.2 yards per contest, which ranks them third in the country. The Oregon offense has totaled 706 yards of penalties on 83 infractions, which has them ranked 29th in D1 in terms of giving up free yards. For the year thus far, the Ducks have thrown for 3,497 yards through the air, along with an average of 291.4 throwing yards per contest, which has them ranked 15th in the nation. When discussing how much they score, the Ducks are sitting 9th in the nation, with an average of 39.7 points per contest. Drake May is third in the country with 4,115 passing yards. The freshman QB has also thrown 37 touchdown passes, 6th most in the country. May also has 653 rushing yards, most in the team, and 7 rushing TDs, second most for the Heels. He has thrown only 7 interceptions on the season, but in the team's 3-game losing streak to end the season, the Tar Heel QB averaged just 234.3 yards per game and had just 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. The Ducks are allowing 27.4 points per game, which has them sitting 77th in the country. Oregon has conceded a total of 1,506 yards rushing, 125.5 yards per outing, and 17 touchdowns by way of the ground game for the year. This season, they have relinquished 329 points in total. They have conceded 22 touchdowns through the air and 260.6 yards game, which has them sitting 106th in the nation. The Ducks' defense has participated in 786 plays, which is good for 34th in the nation. This is a massive total, but we are dealing with 2 of the more abundant defenses in the land. On top of that, both schools are losing key players on their defenses, which will factor in big time. Both schools love to air things out, and both can find their way on the ground if air traffic is not clear. This season the Ducks have played in 7 games that have tilted over 70 combined points. The Tar Heels have been in 5 such games this season. This number will not be out of reach for these teams. We are fully expecting a shootout with 2 of the best QBs in the country going toe-to-toe. Our second pick is over 73.5 points.